We're not going to stop winning. The people of our country want us to keep on winning, and we're going to go win like never, ever before.
A Biden-appointed judge in July issued a restraining order stopping ICE from stopping individuals with just reasonable suspicion.
A few moments later.
In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court now clearing the way for roaming immigration sweeps here in LA to resume once again.
So 6 of these unelected geriatric idiots are just going to let Trump do whatever the hell he wants to do at this point. They just lifted the ban on racial profiling and immigration raids in LA. So now Trump's Gestapo force, I'm going to call it what it is allowed to continue profiling Latinos in LA, arresting them, accosting them, kidnapping them just because they fit the look.
Press the subscribe button. Yes, you. Press the subscribe button.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was hoping I would get some leftist meltdowns today, and they delivered, because President Trump has won 2 massive Supreme Court victories. In 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court has enabled him to deport whoever he wants based off effectively whatever criteria he wants, because there's already laws passed saying that he can do that. And by having all these woke judges get in the way, like, oh, he's racial profiling, they were going against the Constitution. That may be a criteria that you can leverage. That's like saying that, hey, we heard that majority of the suspects in some criminal ring are black, but then when you only pull over black people, they're like, it's racial profiling. Well, no, I mean, if these are the people primarily who you're looking for, then of course, a lot of these people came from freaking Mexico and South America. A lot of them look very similar. So of course you're going to have people that speak a similar language. They're going to look very similar. They're going to hang out in similar places. So to me, it makes a lot of sense. But on top of that, he's been able to fire this woke FTC commissioner, this black lady, the DEI hire, I'm certain. I can already hear the outrage about that. Trump's firing black women.
They're taking black jobs now.
Even though he's literally fired thousands from the federal government, but they want to focus on like the 2 black women that they could find who don't have a job anymore. The fun part about this is that the leftists are melting down about it.
Horrific story here, guys. Basically, what Trump has been doing in Los Angeles and other cities, he's got the National Guard and others stopping anybody on the street who looks Latino and making them prove they're American. Totally illegal. You can't, it's racial profiling. You literally can't do this.
I've been wrong about everything. So have you, by the way.
6 of you are going to let him do whatever the hell he wants to do. Keep in mind, these are unelected people that are appointed. Typically, ideologically, they're either conservative or liberal. They're unelected and they serve lifetime terms. This is insane.
Civil liberties are gone. They don't exist anymore. We are not only in a constitutional crisis, but a civil war and a culture war.
So now that the Supreme Court has decided that ICE can racially profile people, I hope the Latinos for Trump enjoy their stays at Trump Hotel detention centers.
And white people, you really had to get the military to arrest your job competition? I mean, what happened to hiring the most qualified person? You're that scared? You don't have what it takes to make it in this job market? You needed troops armed for war to give you that step up?
You're right. It's fact. You even got crazy behind MSNBC out here calling for an insurrection. They're so upset about this that they feel like, no, we need to have the military stop everything that President Trump's doing, basically saying that we need to have a coup. The people who won't shut up about J6, because guarantee you that you probably can't turn on the news and watch MSNBC or CNN and hear them say something about January 6th on a daily basis since it happened. And now they're literally calling for a coup. Let's go ahead and react to this.
So here's the thing. This is going to come for everyone. That's the point about authoritarianism. What we are seeing right now in this Supreme Court essentially saying we will say the president and protecting the president's, our perception of the president's power is more important than protecting people from the overreach, the abuse of power. It is racially profiling, but it is coming for everyone. And the point here about the military is going to become much more crucial. Because as we've seen in other countries that have faced this kind of authoritarianism, it is when the military says we won't do it anymore. And we may come to that reckoning very soon in this country where our own military says we won't do it anymore. The other thing, though, we have to remember, and we have veterans who have been calling this out for a while and saying that the military has to take more action, even before this administration came into power.
And this is why President Trump doesn't want a bunch of transgenders in the military, people with gender dysphoria, because the main people who would probably turn around and do something like actually cause an insurrection, probably in the middle of a conflict or something, would probably be somebody like that. Certainly not the vast majority of people who are in the U.S. military today.
Is we have a lot of military who are deeply concerned and troubled and don't want to do this.
Like who?
But there is, by some estimates, 11% of military that are white supremacists or other white extremists in the military. And so unless we have leaders come out and say no, we will have a bigger problem.
Sounds awfully insurrection-y to me. And what the hell does this even mean? Like, some estimates say, what do you mean some estimates? Estimates from who? Can we get some sources cited? Like 11%. This doesn't make any sense, guys. If we're talking about based off MSNBC's estimate, then they would call somebody like me a white supremacist just because I support President Trump and the MAGA movement. So over time, they've successfully diluted terms like white supremacist and Nazi and racist and bigot and all of this stuff, because effectively they call even deporting illegal aliens in general to be bigoted. They call enforcing crimes to be, enforcing penalties for crimes to be racist things to do. Like, these people have literally used every shaming tool and tactic and threw out every term they could to diminish basic common sense things. They call you a bigot for saying that a man and a woman are the only two sexes that exist. And then they act like you were the crazy one. They try to shame you out of your common sense position, or worse, they know they're not going to shame you out of your position entirely, some of you. So they try to shame you out of speaking about it. You ever notice that the biggest vocal people are the people who support all the woke nonsense? A lot of people who realize it's common sense, they just go and they do their little voting and then they just go about their business and don't say anything. That's what they want. They want people to shut up and do what you're told, listen to what you're told. If you don't believe it, you better not say anything. Otherwise, we're going to browbeat you to death and shame you to death and call you all of these names and hope that it sticks. But I don't care what they call me, because people are going to say what they're going to say, and I'm going to say what the heck I got to say. If you didn't like it, you shouldn't have let all these damn illegal aliens into the country. And something's got to happen in order to get these people out, and just saying that the act of identifying them and removing them is somehow inhumane or wrong and all of this crying about it, it didn't work before the election. Why the hell would it work now? When the courts are out here trying to remove presidents from the ballot and take all their money so that they can't run and ruin their lives and livelihoods, oh, they didn't mind any of that stuff. But the second that the U.S. Supreme Court decides, hey, we think that this is the right thing to do and you guys need to back the freak off, they want to keep crying authoritarianism and dictatorships and fear-mongering every single time. At what point do you guys think that, hey, maybe this isn't going to work? This is why MSNBC is going broke now. They're not even going to be a part of NBC anymore because of freaking losers like this. Face it, you failed miserably, and no amount of fear-mongering is going to save this network from its inevitable demise. These are my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Justice Brett Kavanaugh wrote in his concurring opinion that race or ethnicity alone cannot be a reason to stop someone, but it can be considered along with other factors in forming reasonable suspicion to stop someone for illegal immigration check.